It's a bit of a paradox, the way people tend to see a magic trick. Part of me wishes people wouldn't see magic as some sort of game they're trying to figure out, right? But then the other part of me, in moments, is grateful that they care enough about to see it even as a game. Because some people just see magic as some sort of kind of lame puzzle. So we've all dealt with this when performing with people, with sharing, is there's this sense that someone just sits back and sees if it's going to catch me. Speaking of catching me, Chris, we're going to try a kind of a variation on the classic 3-card Monte, and I created this with the Halloween season in mind. What I've done is I've removed the candies from 2 of them and kept the candy in 1. So in this situation, we're going to do a little, we're going to try to see if Chris, who generally is a pretty observant guy, to see if he can keep an eye on where the one with the candies is. So here we go, Chris, watch. Any guesses where the one, do you think it's number 1, number 2, or number 3?
Number 2.
Yeah, okay. Now that was pretty obvious because obviously I went pretty slowly, but now if I do it a bit quicker, which one do you think has the one with the candies? Number 1, 2, or 3?
Number 2.
Number 2. Now you see? No, it's actually, I had it over here the whole time. Now, what's cool about this is once we start doing it now even very slowly, I'm trying to make sure that the Smarties don't rattle inside the one that has it, really, because I know this mic picks up. Very slowly, even that slowly, which one do you think has the Smarties?
Number 1.
Number 1, well, actually, it's the middle one, and neither of these 2. But that's the game. It's not really magic. If I was going to do magic, what I'd do is I'd invisibly move the Smarties into the card case, leaving me with 1 absolutely empty box, 2 absolutely empty box, and 3 absolutely empty candy boxes, and everything can be closely examined. I don't know if it's because I'm a middle child or because I have so many warts on my feet. Whatever the reason is, I always wake up every day with the same sort of collection of questions in my mind because I'm really fascinated with communication in general and the notion of connecting with people, engaging with people. And the question always is the same 4 words. Why should they care? Why should people care? Why should people care about magic or about what you want to say? Why should the bus driver care when you go ding ding and you want to get off the bus? Why should someone at the bank care that they get the money right? Why do people care? And I think it's a very important question because so many people who are in the arts, they focus on expressing. I've got this feeling, I want to get it out. I got this vision, I want to get it out. But expressing versus communicating, very different. Communicating takes into account off the top the other, the recipient. It's very important, particularly in magic, when you're dealing with something which a lot of people find inherently threatening. They don't like it. So it's interesting. I'm thrilled to be in this area because this is an area, unlike a lot of the other arts, that I find there's a big part of it. You always have to be reassuring. You always have to be diffusing different kinds of misperceptions and issues around this. So one of the things people will care about this, where they won't care about a card trick necessarily, is because this one first has a challenge. Can you catch me? Can you watch? People care. Their ego. It engages them. It plays to the cliche, of course, that I'm going to catch you. So that's number 1, why people will care about this. The other reason people will care about this is not just between you and them, but between them and other people. People like to look smart. They really do. Now, it's a generality, but these generalities can make or break your performances. Understanding about humankind and generally why they do what they do. The third reason is candy. That's what I love about this too. Now, of course, there'll be some of you who find that doing magic with candy seems kind of infantile. I get that. I have no problem with it because me, probably my mental age is about 7. I'm about a 7-year-old. Emotionally, of course, I'm more like a 6. To perform this really cool trick, it's actually more of a routine. I love the fact that it's got several magic moments. You're going to need 4 little boxes of candy. And they can be mints, they can be chocolate, they could be anything that's going to have a bit of a rattle sound in them, okay? And obviously for anybody out there, I know a bunch of you who subscribe to the channel are either part-time or full-time professional magicians who do kids parties. This is perfect 365 days a year, right? What a great thing to have in your pocket, sort of before your big show or after. You can have, you can do this with the kids. And you can obviously, probably a good idea to have non-peanuts, no peanuts, unless you're feeling mean-spirited that day, and then have only peanut products and share those out and watch the interesting results as the kids follow the flow of writhing and the parents start to get miffed. So, you got your box here. What I do is I remove the Smarties from one of them and I put a rubber band around. Okay, now for ultimate drama, you could glue these shut, so at the end you kind of have to tear them open. But then it sort of asks the question, how did you get the Smarties out? Is it some sort of implied magic trick that you were able to get them out without tearing them? So I find the rubber bands works very well. Okay, so I'm closing up 3 of them, like that, okay? And I took the Smarties, all the Smarties out of one of them, and I put it inside the card case. Now notice you could have the, it could be a napkin. Maybe you pretended to blow your nose and it's still dripping with grossness. It could be a paper napkin with the Smarties in it. Could be a box of matches. Could be any little container, coin purse, anything that's a little off to the side that has the Smarties inside, okay? So 3 are empty with rubber bands. This one has the Smarties still inside. And I use this very old principle here. So that is rubber banded in that spot, okay? Boom, you are ready to go. So no sound, no sound, perfect sound. I love that illusion. I've created a few different things with it. This is probably my favorite thing with this principle though, because it really is a full-on blown magic trick, not just some sort of prank moment. So you take these out. You got this here, you put that down there, you take these out, and you talk about Smarties or candies and observation tests, and a magic trick's like a magic trick is a lot like a game, can you catch me? Or you could simply say, hey, let's try a little observation test. I'm going to be using your eyes, but I also am going to be using your ears, okay? Because your ears, you can tell that I've actually removed the Smarties. Listen, removed the candy from one of them and kept them in the other. So you've probably seen 3 Card Monte when they do New York City with the 3 cards. We're going to do it with the Smarties. So of course now, whatever structure works for you, I like the idea of going slowly, seeing if they can catch me and make sure I have to keep track of the one that apparently has the candy inside. And then when they guess the right one, let's say they do it over here, I say nicely done. I thought I might have fooled you over here, but yep, you did get it. And notice you do have to be careful or be aware of the shaking gesture. This gesture has one kind of sound, this gesture has another. So I think you really have to kind of play around and figure out which way you want to do it and be consistent. Obviously, you don't want this side to be this and this side the bigger shake. It'll, on an unconscious level, it can sort of get people suspicious. So the first time I do it slowly, and it's just to verify that they can play along. The second time I do really quickly. Okay? And if you want, while you're doing this, you could kind of every now and then give a little shake to the sound to add to it. But I just find doing it quickly and saying the line. I'm just going to try to do it as softly as I can because I don't want to give away which one has it inside because you can hear them rattle. And that really sells the idea that there's something inside one of the boxes, okay? Then this time they get it wrong. They think it's here, but actually, no. It's here, but yeah, people often get confused by that, okay? So you're like that. Then the last time, because going from slow to quick and they got fooled is fine. But I remember developing this trick and thinking, well, now where do I go from here? And it occurred to me, it was almost counterintuitive, wait a second. If the first time was kind of slow and the second time was really fast and it deceived them, how about the last one super slow? That would really start moving from skill towards magic, which is how I want the tone of this to move. And then last time, they're convinced it's here, and I go, no, this time's here. I say, well, that's a game, though. It's a game, like we said. Now, if I were to be real magic, I would maybe do something like this. And here's where you do this, and you do this. Now, I'm never sure, and I always raise this question here on the channel, guys. Do you show these 3, then show it in here? Or do you, but I'm tempted. I think the drama, spilling these out is so visually perfect, but there's not so much mystery there because they could have been in there from the beginning. I didn't show this empty. So my intuition theatrically is not to end with the spill, but to do this, have this through line. Because if you do this, then go back to these to show them empty, then go back to that, it seems a little like I've watered it down to me, okay? But you have to follow your own personal style and sense of rhythm and theater. This. I love the continuation of the sound to the sound. But notice, you don't want to do it too loud because then it could after the fact, it sort of suggests this is kind of quiet. So it's sort of interesting. Like this, spill these out. And of course, at this point, everybody's thinking, well, that's great that you got some in there, but I know damn well one of these has got some Smarties in it. It has to. They've heard that sound so many times. So you could even get them involved, and they get a chance to open up all three and find that all three are empty. Thank you so much for sharing my passion for magic, for illusion, for interacting with people. It's something I've been obsessed with my whole life, and to have come on YouTube here and sort of find myself at the center of a huge community of people worldwide who share my passion, it's wonderful. So thank you very, very much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please join us. Subscribe to this channel at least once a week, often twice a week. I have new videos and different things come out. I also give away contests. Most weeks I run at least one contest on the Tuesday. There'll be some question below the video. Just by answering the question, you automatically are entered into the contest to maybe win a card trick or a coin trick or DVD. I want to leave you with one last thought too, and that is that these three at the end, you can show them empty, or you could open two empty and the third one has something surprising. Could be somebody, a duplicate to a folded card, right? Could be maybe with a bit of sleight of hand, you have a marked coin in there. Could be the ear of a cat. You know, you take it out, people go, oh my God, what's that? And you simply say, it's an ear of a cat. You let that settle there. Or my personal favorite is just fill it to the brim with fresh dirt, soil. And as you spill it out, you say, after all, we all eventually die. After all, we all eventually die. Probably cut there.